Welcome back to TMI with Terrell and Martha. It's going to be a little different show today because I have asked our producer and my sweet friend and manager of the Spa on Green Street, Tara, to sit in Miss Martha's chair for me. Because we do have to let you guys know, if you're not local, you may not already know that we lost our dear friend and colleague yesterday, suddenly. It was related to her heart, which you all knew. She was very open about her last episode on TMI with Terrell and Martha. And Tara and I both felt very strongly that it would be important for us to do a podcast in her honor and just talk a little bit about what she meant to us. Our community as a whole is in mourning, deep mourning. And her family needs everyone's love and prayers sent to them because she was their Oma. She was a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and she was so deeply loved by this community.
I think she was friends to everybody. You can't go anywhere right now without seeing someone that knew her or that is impacted by the fact that she's not here anymore. On the radio show, people were calling in and they're like, they've never seen her in person, but they've listened to her show and they were mourning her loss too.
Yeah.
So I hope that when she left, she knew the impact she was leaving.
Oh, if she didn't know, honey, she knows now.
She knows now. Because it was huge, just from people that have known her a few years to people who have known her for 30 to 40 years in their whole life. It was just amazing to know her. So,
yeah.
You know, we all, I had a sweet moment with her the day before she passed away where she called me on the phone. And I just keep saying and thinking, had I been too busy to answer that phone call, I would now be living the rest of whatever my time is, wondering what was she going to say to me?
Right.
You know, so we pull it together and we're hurt and then it just comes all back again. But she was so powerful.
She was. She was a
really
force.
was.
And everybody that knows her says the same exact things about her. Yeah. Her smile lit up a room. Her willingness to be vulnerable.
Right. And her willingness to just be frontlining behind what she stood behind.
Right.
She did not back down behind her beliefs. And that's powerful.
I mean, whether we agreed or didn't agree with her beliefs, you got to respect the amount of energy and commitment she gave to the things she believed in. Right. And, you know, Martha and I didn't always we came from two different perspectives. We had varied beliefs.
But I think that's why
varied belief systems.
Well,
yes.
You know, when you said, oh, I'm going to do a podcast and you're like, who's going to be on it with me? I never thought it was going to be Martha Zoller because it is two different worlds.
I didn't either, actually. She's
when she's like, I want to do the podcast with you, we were like, what? Like, I'm sorry. And even though we did sense. Yeah, even though we included some political things and she kept us all updated on the RFK Jr. and the health because she was some support of what he's changing and doing for our country.
And totally committed.
And 100% to the good
to that
things.
process, yeah.
And she would call out some of the bad things that she's like, well, you know, so she was great about that. And she was working so hard on getting her health together. And I'm glad that she got where she got on her health. But it just shows you that no matter how hard you're working on it and how much you have the will to want to be better, what you're doing now impacts you down the road.
Yeah.
You know? And she was open about her heart. And she was making
great
strides towards it. And Terrell was always pushing her out of the box. I mean, after a podcast would end, the laughs of Martha being like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to have to do this and go do float yoga, which they never got to do, but it was so on the plan to do and she was open to do it.
I was the friend that made her do what she called weird things.
Right. All the time.
Yes, but that's the joy of who she was on the show. When I called her and told her about my idea to do this, and I was calling her because she has so much experience in the radio, TV. She's just a huge personality here in Gainesville and will always be. And I had just called her as a friend. She's been supporting the spa and coming in and out, taking care of herself for 20 years.
Absolutely.
And I called and said, hey, I really want to do this podcast. I really want to get the word out to people and allow all of you out there to understand your options relative to your health, how to live. There's so much unknown out there. And she was so excited. She said, hey, can I ride side saddle?
Right.
And I thought, what?
Shocker.
Martha Zoller wants to ride side saddle next to me? Well, I can't get yes out of my mouth fast enough.
Right.
And off we went. And Tara
Yeah.
has been with us behind the scenes. And we all just basically fell in love with each other more and
Absolutely.
more. Because when the camera wasn't running, the conversations were raw, real. It was a safe place for us to just talk about our day-to-day lives.
Right.
And we did use some of that conversation to create the podcast, the ones around grandparenting. She and I were very similar in our love for our family and the people around us. And,
Right.
We had mostly things in common and some things that were very different in our spiritual.
But I think the things in common, like being great grandmothers and
They
being
bonded
legacies
us.
to your family. I mean, the legacy she left behind for her family
Mhm.
and the community is amazing. But you could see the things that you had in common
A lot.
because she cared. And I think the political, because everybody knows her for that, right? That's just one
She
side
wanted
of who
to step
Martha
out of that.
was.
She wanted to take a side step
Right.
to do something a little outside of that realm because there is so much more. There was so much more to Martha Zoller.
Right.
And those that knew her intimately know that. The others that just heard her on the radio or anywhere else, they knew that part of her.
Right.
And everybody loves her for her entertainment and her ability to talk and
I
share
think that's why she
things.
was on the show, was because she wanted everybody to see a different side of her.
Yeah.
Because when you're forefront in front of everybody and in that arena,
Mhm.
everybody only sees that one thing, and every conversation is only about that one thing. And for us, the conversations were so different. I mean, the group chat that
Very.
we had, it was so different. Like, and to be able to know that I'm so privileged to have seen the other side of her and some of her political,
Yep.
which I love about her,
Mhm.
it's just priceless.
Yeah,
It really
and,
is.
We're doing this through the pain, just
Mhm.
so you guys can know. This is very raw and very real. I'm doing this because Martha would want me to do this.
Absolutely.
And she I'm not going to stop. We're going to continue our podcast. We're going to continue to spread the word. I carry some of Martha in my heart, and she will be with me just as she will be with anybody that cared for her every single day of their life.
Right. And I think she would want that because
Yeah.
she wants you to know the difference.
Yeah.
And
This mattered to her.
this mattered. And if we would stop, she would be like, you started something so good. Why would you stop just because I physically couldn't be there? It doesn't mean that she isn't emotionally here and spiritually here. And we were making an impact, and she
I've
was
gotten
part
some
of
very
that
sweet and very amazing comments from people who have watched our podcast and who enjoyed the magic that was between us that we knew was there.
Absolutely. And it was real from the moment you guys met. And some of the stuff, I would sit over there as the producer and shake my head and be like, oh no. And it was just so real. It was just who you guys were.
Yeah.
And it was so special. And I hope that our community knows that time is so priceless.
Yep.
None of us are promised tomorrow, because if you gave me a list of people who would have been gone yesterday, she would have never been on that list.
Right.
And so we mourn with her family.
Yep.
We mourn with our community. And now we just rebuild of what it's going to look like without her physically here, but with her here
her
in our
spirit
heart
will
and
always
spirit,
be a part of this show.
And everything that we do, we know we're doing it
with
because
her.
she would want you to be healthy. She really did. She wanted everybody to be healthy. And I think for her, she started seeing that on the second phase. I mean, she was so excited about retirement and all the stuff that she was going to
Oh,
do.
we
and
were going to be busy.
everything she had planned. So, she wants you to make changes, go places you've never gone. She was big into traveling. I mean, that woman had trips planned to places for years and years and years to come.
She loved England.
Yes,
So anybody here from England,
it.
that was her favorite place.
So I think she would want everyone to, I find ourselves as humans planning. We spend so much time planning for so many things.
Slow down.
I even text Frankie, your daughter, this morning because we were, communicating because everybody's in shock. In one moment, I feel like I'm put together, and then the next moment, I'm looking through clips of trying to do some shorts of Martha, and it's Connor, or somebody walked in the spa and they knew her, and but I was telling your daughter Frankie this morning, I'm like, as humans, we spend so much time planning. Quit planning and just do it. Like, you want to go somewhere, go. You want to be someone, be them. Like, just quit planning for it because you're not guaranteed tomorrow. None of us are. And that's not what we want to leave behind.
Part of this show was about leaving a legacy. And I believe truly her legacy was well built before we tried to do this show. But each one of you guys has a potential to leave the greatest legacy for the people you love. But it's going to be made in the moments that you're living, the moments that you're with people, the memories, telling the people that you love them. I love you, Tara.
I love you too, Tara.
And just being with the people that you care about. Because, life isn't a given where none of us are promised tomorrow.
And love is so much bigger. Like, everybody thinks you can only love your immediate family, and you can only love your mom and your dad and your sister and your children.
Vast.
But I find myself telling my dearest friends and people how much I really love them and how much they've made impacts on me, right? And loved Martha till the end of the world.
Yeah. Well, Martha did go home that day that she said she was going home.
She did.
But she went home to her Lord and Savior. And she went home to be in a place that she was excited to go. The first time she just wasn't ready to go.
No.
But what you all need to take away, and please know how much we love doing what we do, but you need to take away the fact that it's the love and the memories that create the fortune that you leave behind. Even though we did a podcast episode on financial planning and trusts and wills and things of that nature, that is the least thing that matters. At the end of the day, it's who you were to the people you loved and the memories that you made with them. On that basis, our Martha Zoller, she left us all a fortune. And so we got here today in spite of the recent loss that we've gone through along with our community and her family. And we wanted to sit here today and be able to present to you a sweet collection of shorts of Martha. Hope that you continue to follow us and share our stories, because Martha and I know, and will always know, and Tara knows, that your wellness deserves a little of sharing.
Right. I think my kind of mantra right now is that you can't control what's going on 10,000 miles away from you, or 5,000, or even maybe 100. But you can find something in your own backyard that is like the young girls that are helping you feed your animals, or a charity that you like, or something that's going to get you out of this scrolling kind of world that we have put ourselves in and get you back with what I like to call the three-dimensional people. I do use a therapist, and you can go into a therapy session and you can say anything, and they help you get through that, because there's people in your life, and I know you've all been there, that you'll confide in, and they use that confiding against you later.
Yeah.
And you can't let that happen. You got to keep everything copacetic. And it's hard to do when you got a big extended family, which is where we are in our lives. We have big extended families. Yeah, it's so funny because when I dropped them off the first time, I had 4 of my grandkids and they weren't sure, because they're not from here. They live in Lexington, Kentucky. They didn't know if they're going to find anybody there. And one of my grandsons was from Watkinsville. And so they went in, and when they came out, they were just bounding out, and James said, "Oh, it was great. I had a good time." And then sweet little Benji said, "Oh, I thought you were dropping me off. You were tricking me into sleepaway camp."
He didn't know what he was in for.
I know, but he had a great time, and he's shown artwork at school
that
he's done since then. But it was so funny that he would think I was, because we wanted him to go to sleepaway camp, but you can't go until you're ready for that.
Yeah.
And I have a new set of frying pans sitting under my desk because what I started to do, because I mean, before someone told me this stuff that peels off of your frying pans is bad for you, I kind of figured if it was peeling off of your frying pan, it's probably bad for you. So I kind of exchange them out pretty regularly, and look for what's the latest and greatest. So I'll admit to that. So I have this set now. I don't even know what I'm going to do with this set of frying pans. It's funny. Come the revolution, I do have a stash of cash, but she got her stash. You know what I mean? Come the revolution, I'll be ready. But and
don't be saying that on your podcast.
I know. It's all right. It's all right. They'd have to find it first. But anyway, they'd have to get past my 200-pound dog. No, it's like,
that's funny.
But yeah, I said that to a friend. We were collecting up money for a baby shower for somebody, and I said, "Well, can I give cash?" And they were like looking at me like, "What's you're some kind of crazy person. What is this?" And I said, "Well, come the revolution, I'll be fine."
Yeah. What about the gold bars buried in your backyard? We won't talk about that.
And we got started small. You don't start an exercise session without stretching first. You probably shouldn't start your day without having some quiet time where you just think, in my world, I try to listen to God.
Right.
I try to spend some time to think about my blessings.
That's great.
And,
That's incredible.
And spend some time to just start out on a calm, not jump out of bed and being ready to go. I think that's a misnomer. You ought to think about your day.
You ease into your day.
But the marker that we put down and fought for and bled for, even up to our own Civil War and sacrifice for, is worth it. And it's so impressive that in that, I think they called it the Age of Enlightenment, right?
Sure.
That particular time, that language was just changing the way people looked at the world.
Yeah.
And, and there's a lot of talk about colonialism, all that kind of stuff. But if you look at the UK, for example, look at what came out of that. Okay, India, the United States, Australia, Canada, some of the biggest free peoples in the world.
Yeah, sure.
Groups that we're not perfect every day, but we put our problems up in the front.
We're free to make those mistakes.
As Gordon Sinclair of the Canadian Broadcasting System said at the time of Watergate, don't count America out. And we feel this way now sometimes.
Never do.
Because they put their problems in the front window for everybody to see and for everybody to talk about.
Yeah.
And they'll be fine. I do love Proverbs, but there are descriptions of women in there that are just totally unattainable. I mean, as far as what, she makes her own clothes, she goes out and cooks the food, it's like, I love you, Lord, okay? But
there's only so much
there's only so much I can do in one day. So it's like, it's crazy. And just letting yourself have some grace, and letting other people have some grace. That's the other part of it. Being as compassionate with yourself as you are with other people.
Extend that. That same gratitude and graciousness.
For years, I have thought about marriages in the way that if we were as nice to our spouses as we were to our friends, if we put up with as much from our spouses as we do from our friends, we probably would have no divorces. I mean, you've got to find the balance, right? In everything, whether it's technology, and that's been since the beginning of time, whether it's technology, whether it's whatever it is, you've got to find that balance.
Right.
And, I think God wants you to be quiet some. I think he wants to, I'm the worst at quoting scripture, but be still and know that I am God. I think it's it's one of the translations.
I am is a very important statement.
You just sit and you listen and you and you hear things.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate.
Yes, there is no such thing as a non-working woman. Okay,
True.
If you stay at home all day, or if you
You're
go
busy.
to work, or if you do a combination of both, you are managing the household. Even though it has not changed that men are identified from 25 to 55 by what they do.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
Women have changed their roles to some degree, but I'm sorry, when you walk into somebody's house, you don't think the guy's not keeping it neat.
Right.
You think the woman's, and that stress comes along from
Never
that
has that
expectation.
changed.
That because they don't care that much. I mean,
No.
honestly. I think too much we try to fill each minute of the day with something constructive.
Yeah.
I know I'm guilty of that.
You just gotta,
but it's just sitting. It's like in that video we showed you a couple of weeks ago about the kids in the 90s, and the last clip was
we
like,
will get it on this show.
yeah, it's like, but the last clip was
Instagram
so
is
cute. The kid's just laying in the grass, and he's like, "You mean, we have to fill every day with everything? That's exhausting." And I remember
and
those.
We can't just lay here in the grass and stare at the sky.
I remember those days though when we used to. My parents had the best grass. It was Tifering Bermuda. They did. My dad spent a lot of time pushy grass. He wanted to look like a golf course, and all the kids in the neighborhood wanted to play on it because it was nice and soft. But it was so cool and green in the summertime, and I just loved laying in the grass.
Wait, so you're telling me in the future people just stare at a little box all day, inside and outside?
And in the future you don't even own the music, you just pay every month to borrow it? Like, if you stop paying, the music just disappears?
Wait, so before people eat, they take a picture of the food and show strangers? And the strangers like and comment on it? So in the future, everyone has their own phone and they use it to type messages instead of call? And if someone calls you without typing it first, it's considered rude? So you're telling me in the future people just post their diary for everyone to see?
Some people get paid for it.
For their diary? And in the future a little box just tells you where to go, turn by turn? And people still get lost? If you want food from a restaurant, you just tap the box and a stranger brings it to your door and you pay extra for that? And then you rate the stranger? Our moms always say don't talk to strangers. But in the future, everyone just talks to strangers all day on the little box and shows them their house and their kids? So in the future, nobody ever just sits with the quiet, like ever? That sounds really exhausting. In the future, everyone's connected to everything and people are still lonely? Okay, but do we at least still stay outside until the streetlights come on?